All right, so how do you simplify negative exponents? Well, I think the easiest way to do that is just look at an example. So let's just write this down. 2a to the second, negative second, b to the first, c to the 0, d to the negative 3. We're going to put that all over 4, g, f to the negative 3, z to the 0, e to the negative 4. All right. So the first thing we want to do is we want to look at our coefficients, okay? So our coefficients are our numbers that are out in front, like the 2 and the 4, okay? So we want to simplify those. 2 over 4 does not make 2. Instead, it makes 1/2. So we know we're going to have a fraction because we have a 1 and we have a 2 on the bottom. We have to simplify those numbers first. So we've taken care of those. So essentially what we can do is we can cross them out. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to think about what we have left. Well, we have a bunch of negatives. So what I would do is I would look at all these negative exponents and I would just circle them. All right, I see 4. That means those things got to move around, okay? But let's look at everything else that stays the same. I see a b to the first power on top. Well, that means that's going to stay because it's not negative. We don't need to move it. So we're going to keep it as b. Well, b to the first is the same as b. So we can cross that out. And I see a c to the 0, I see a z to the 0, and I see a g. Well, the g can stay because, see, it's not positive or negative, so we don't have to move it around. But the c to the 0 and the z to the 0, and back the train up. Okay, back it up. Remember, anything raised to the 0 power is 1. Anything. So those do not change the top or the bottom at all. And we're not going to put c to the 0 back down there because it's just 1. And we're not going to put 1 because anything multiplied by 1 is 1. So they're just there to kind of throw you off. Think about simplifying. You don't need anything to the 0 power. All right. Last thing we need to do is move some things around, right? Because we can't have these negatives. I see an a to the negative second, and I see a d to the negative 3 on top. What that means is they're just going to come to the bottom. And when they come to the bottom, they become positive. So I have a to the second power and d to the regular positive 3 power. And on top, we're done there. But on the bottom, you still see our f and our e. They got to come up too. We got to make sure that we take them to the top so that those negatives go away. And we're not going to rewrite them as negatives, remember, because we're moving them, they are changing. And now we're done. Some people ask you, does it matter if your letters are in order by alphabetically in order? I mean, it doesn't matter. You can do that. And most of the time that will be done. But in this case, I mean, we're just moving things. And I think the easiest way to do it is break down your coefficients, okay? Bring down everything that doesn't move, and then see if there's any zeros. Get rid of those. And then check and see if there's any negatives, and then those negatives, let's move them, okay? Move them between the top and bottom.